Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And yeah, today it's a slightly different one. I've got a friend's car in. It's another Beetle. So this is a friend of mine's. We're going to be doing just a little bit of work to it, so I thought I'd document that process. Essentially, we'll be putting a carby on it because this carby's had a bit of a hard life. It's probably quite old, so we're risking it for the biscuit, and we've gone and got a eBay carb, so we'll see how that works. It might work, it might not. Hopefully we'll be able to at least make a good one out of the two, which also means we're gonna have to do some wiring in the engine bay. So we're gonna crack into this. Filming's gonna be a little bit different because I'm actually on my phone at the moment, compared to normal cameras or DJIs or GoPros or Canons. So yeah, we're going a little bit of a sidestep just while I sort of get some stuff sorted, and then I want to get back into filming properly and getting some more stuff coming out. It's just time, as we know. So shelving, got some of that sorted. Still needs a bit of modification though, and yeah, the unit's slowly coming together. Got some artwork behind my Beetle. Me and the missus got a bit crafty. So anyways, let's jump into the Beetle. I'll show you the carby and what we're gonna have to fix. Alrighty, so here we have the latest and greatest. It's essentially a copy of a Solex Pict 34 or 34 Pict 3, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's just a Chinese copy, so I know they are hit and miss. I am well aware of that, but we're going to try and see what we can do. Mainly the fuel shut-off solenoid. If you have a look at this one, somebody's broken it. So the fuel, this is a genuine Solex, which is great, but you know, it's almost as much to buy a whole new carby as it is to buy just a rebuild kit. So we've got that. We've got down here also a relay, because we're going to be fitting a hot start relay to this. And he also wants to get rid of the oil bath airbox and put a filter on there, kind of like what I'm running on my Beetle. So that's going to be fun, and we'll see how we go. Anyways, what we're going to have to do is find some wiring and find out where everything's going and what it's doing, because we're going to have to make a new wire for the fuel shut-off solenoid. And yeah, we've already got one on the choke there, which that's not good. I'd be surprised if that's working at all. He has had some starting issues with this, so that explains a lot. Another thing we might do while we've got this car here is you can see this drive belt for the generator is quite loose. So I might just, what you do is you move the spacers around, or the washers essentially on this, which will tighten the gap. And that's essentially like a V, close to a CVT, it just doesn't move. It's a static gap, not a dynamic. So we move some washers around and that will tighten that belt a little bit as well, because it's okay, but I'd prefer it to be just a little bit tighter. Alrighty, so just bolted the new carby on, pretty straightforward. Fuel line, throttle cable, I've just got to connect that back up now. So that's that one down there. Goes through a little pin, which I've got on the floor. So yeah, and then our non-broken fuel shut-off solenoid. So we're going to have a wire that goes from the coil here. This is the positive side of the coil. So that's essentially what comes from your ignition. We're going to go to here, and then it's going to wrap back around and come over to the choke over here. So the choke looks like it's set up okay so far, because it's returning to full choke when you give it a pump and the power's off. So we haven't had any heat in this yet. When you leave the ignition on, essentially this receives 12 volt, and over time there's a bimetallic spring in there. Over time that bimetallic spring will actually turn, which rotates this cam here. So that's your choke cam there, now that I've got the fuel line out of the way. So you'll see that springs back, and then when it starts relieving that pressure, this choke cam stages down until you're at idle. So they're super simple to set up. Essentially rig 12 volts to it, wait. Once it's been sitting there for a good couple of minutes and it's got some heat into it, then you can move this around. It might take some tinkering over time, but you get there in the end. And this essentially, once it gets 12 volt power from the ignition, opens a little valve, allows fuel to get through the carby and into letting the engine run. So if you ever have a carby that's dieseling, that's what stops it. So dieseling is when, what also called running on, or when the vehicle decides to keep running once you've turned the key off. So that stops that from happening. Alrighty, new carbies on, a couple of new wires. So we've got the one going to the choke and the one going to the fuel shut-off solenoid. So what I want you guys to do is listen to that fuel shut-off solenoid for me. I'm going to flick the key and you guys tell me if it's coming on and off, alright? Alright, let's set you up. Alright, tell me if that clicks. Alright, how did we go? Did it click? I think I heard that clicking, so I'm assuming what I could hear was that solenoid clicking. So now, what we're going to do, put the Dizzy Cat back on and see if we can get this thing to run. I'm pretty impressed with that. That's a carby straight from eBay with no tuning, apart from literally me twisting 1%. Now it does still need tuning. I'm going to have to go through and tune it, make sure it cold starts nicely, but I'm pretty impressed. For a cheap eBay carby, bolt on, I'm pretty impressed with that. Alright, we've made some good progress. I've just tuned it up. It's running absolutely mint at the moment. So now I'm tearing into the generator, which is down here somewhere. There, anyways. Tearing into the generator. So I've just taken the nut off the generator, as you can see. And behind it, shims. See, these are actually lots of little shims. I think there's supposed to be like 10 of them or something. I can't remember. The manual says what's in there anyways. Anyways, what I'm going to do is pull this half off, and essentially it's a little bit of trial and error, but if I pull this half off, you can see there's a bunch of shims on the inside here. So they're a little bit crusty, but they're in there. All I'm going to do is essentially one or two at a time. I'm going to move these from the inside to the outside, which, as you can see, there's a slight bevel on that, which is going to force the belt to ride higher. Once the belt rides higher, it's going to be tighter. If you run out of shims, then you need a new belt. Right, so I literally just moved 3 shims, tightened it back up. Now she's a bit too tight. So it goes to show you how much one shim actually makes, because that was 3. I even guessed it. I was like, oh, I'll do 2, and then I did 3 because I was a bit cocky, and now, yeah, she's a little too tight. So I'm going to back it back off, swap another shim, recheck it. Much better. Some would say that's still on the tight side, but that's how I've got mine in my Beetle, so I dare say that's going to be better for that. And less slip, because it was quite loose before. Alright folks, that wraps it up for now, because now I've got the tedious job of letting it cool, because, like we said before, the automatic choke runs off heat, so it uses electricity to gain that heat. So now I've got it all shut down, the engine's got to cool down, as well as it not being powered. Once it's all cooled off, I'll probably come back tomorrow now that it's heading into the weekend. I'll come back, and once it's dead cold, give it 1 pump of the accelerator, try and start it up, see what happens. I'll bring you along when it happens. So, for now, we're going to wrap it up, and you'll see me in 2 seconds, but for me it's probably going to be a day or 2. See you then. Hi folks, welcome back. It's the next day, so we're back here with the Beetle again. Now, we're going to test a cold start. So it's been sitting overnight, so all we're going to do is give it 1 pump of the accelerator and see if she starts. Alright, so she starts pretty good. Now I've got to open the door because I just gassed myself out. So obviously it will run very rich while it's on cold start because the choke is fully on. So yeah, we can't really complain about that because that's part of it. Once it warms up, it gets into that better mixture because the choke cam will move and step down not only the idle, but it'll also step down and make sure it's running a lot less rich because it's not choking itself to death as much. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sure Jake will be happy with that. As with any carby car, it's just a matter of finding that exact right way of starting it. So I'm going to assume it's probably going to be the same as mine and most carby cars. One pump of the throttle, that'll put not only it into choke mode, but it'll give it that little squirt of juice. It should fire straight up. So we're going to keep testing it, make sure it's all good for him before we give it back, but that should be sweet. Now, we're going to move on to something else. So the next thing we're doing is deck lid standoffs. So he wants these done for aesthetic purposes. Some people believe they let cool air in, some people believe they let hot air out, could be both. All it does is stand this mount and this mount back a bit, and it means the deck lid stands with a gap all the way along the top here. Alrighty, it's been a couple more days. We've got the standoffs in, so as you can see, it's standoffish. Anyways, the standoffs are in. I've had to modify the latch, that one there. I'll show you in a second why. And now I've just put this little contraption together. Now this actually extends where the bonnet, boot, whatever you want to call it, engine lid, where the spring actually sits. Because if we go over here, that one there is now too far recessed. So this essentially goes on, spaces that out so the spring still works. And that allows us to essentially have the spring still working to hold that engine lid up. So I've cleaned this up a little bit. I wanted to hit it with a can of black spray paint just so it doesn't stand out so bad. I've got to clean it up obviously. And yeah, once that's done, I can chuck it back on, chuck the lid back on for hopefully the last time because I'm sick of taking it off. And yeah, that should be that sorted. So there is two modifications if you ever do standoffs that you need to do, and that is obviously the latch to hold it down and the standoffs for the spring. I am wet head to toe with sweat. It is so hot and humid right now. It's been like 40 all week and now it's just, the humidity's crazy. Anyways, I've done the handbrake. The handbrake was actually an interesting one. Let me quickly show you. Alright, so we step inside the car here. I've ripped the boot off. It was already actually ripped, but I've taken that off. Now, see this little pivot pin here? That had actually slid halfway out, so the handbrake was pulling up but then on the piss, so it wasn't getting a true reading. So I've adjusted that now. First I checked obviously the back, so I checked the wheels, made sure the drums are adjusted properly, which they are. So went back in here, adjusted that. We've now got a nice 5 to 6 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she ain't going nowhere. So with the handbrake adjusted, that leaves one more thing to do, and this car's done on my end. Yeah, just fix that standoff. I've already cut the bracket up, it's in the car waiting to go. I'm going to take it home, clean it up, give it a quick lick of paint, and then that way it's sorted. If he wants to paint the standoffs, he can. We'll see. Yeah, and then I lied, I've got an intake to do as well. But yeah, we're pretty much done. We're almost there. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of time and get it finished off. Once it's finished off, that's it, end of. I've also got to check the wiring out, so I've lied multiple times. But yeah, I've just got to check the battery wiring, make sure it's A-okay, but it is starting like a dream, so I don't have any doubts on that. I believe it's gonna be all good. Anyways, peace out, we'll see you soon. Alrighty, the standoffs are in and done. The spring you can see in there now works as it should. I've made a little bracket up to extend it out. So that makes life much easier. Spring works as it should. We need to put a little rubber stopper in there, down in there, just to stop the bonnet or boot or trunk or lid, engine lid, touching the body. Once that's done, it's all sorted. Everything else is sorted. Done the handbrake now, so that was the last step. Just need to put the old air filter back on for now until we get the new one, and she's sorted. Alrighty guys, it's another day yet again. It's probably been about a week and a bit now. Anyways, it's done, finally. So I'm going to show you inside the engine bay and show you what I've done with the intake, which has pissed off many people on many VW pages, but don't worry about it, it's not your car. Anyways, let's show you what we've done. there we have it. So we've got the new carby, we've got the pancake filter, and we've got a new oil filler. Now, whoever has dealt with a gland nut on these on the inside, yeah, stuff that, never touching that again. That was a pain in the ass, couldn't get it done, had to break it into multiple pieces and then fish it all out. So yeah, that was fun. And we've also got, I don't know if we can see, there we go, the nice little bracket that I made up. So that extends the spring essentially, so the spring still holds the engine lid up, because, you know, that's kind of fun. We did order a rubber grommet for the engine lid to sit on, but unfortunately, because it's all pushed back, it doesn't suit anymore. And you can see the modification I've done here to the latch, so it still latches down. I also checked out the wiring under the bench seat and it looks fine. It's got a big beefy battery in there, which we need to sort of, I don't know, we need to get a bit of a new mount for, but that's later down the track. For now, everything's okay. Well, I'm happy with how it is. I'm going to give it one more run, make sure it's all running mint, and then hand it back to Jake. Cheers, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. And yeah, we'll see you, I don't know, whenever I start posting again. Hopefully soon, because I've got very, very, very big plans, which I'm hoping I can get into. I've just got to get the Falcon sorted. So, once Falcon's done, we'll get back into the Beetle. Anyways, see you then. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Hit the bell, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
I'm here getting used. I'm still making music without any views. I almost died and I still ain't the thought of you. I was some guy we both know you use. Still hurt me up for that ego boost. I don't want drama and shit, yeah, that's only you. Sometimes I fuck up.